This is a message from your guides reading for the child. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and surround us in some protective space for the reading with my sunstone. Okay. So there's some blocks at the feet that I feel like your guides are working on clearing. Some of this has to do with path or career. And I feel like you're going to be getting clearer on that. I do feel like you have your own thing that's going to end up coming to you. And I actually feel like it's going to be fairly soon. Like more and more, it feels like as you are clearing this more and more, it's like something has to come to replace the energy that's been there. And it's like if you have a bunch of stuff in your storage place, in a sense, and you remove it, but then you put something else in there. You put something else that's new in there, or in your closet space, whatever you want to call it. You take something out that's old, and then you go and you buy brand new stuff and you put it in there. But it's almost like that has to happen. If there's this opening, if there's this wide open door with all this space there, it's like something has to be attracted to it. Something has to be pulled in. So you're removing what doesn't serve you, and you're going to be stepping into what does more and more. So it does feel like it's a gradual thing. It doesn't feel like it's just this aha, where you have like everything figured out in an instant. It doesn't really feel that way. It does feel like it's a journey. But it feels like you start coming into that more and more, just naturally as you are releasing this old stuff that blocked you, also that made you more dependent. And I feel like being dependent on others is not a good thing for you, like whether it's like financially or emotionally or energetically, mentally, any way. Not that you can't rely on other people for anything, or that you don't have emotional exchanges. That's not what it's about. Obviously, you know, everyone has that, and that's good, and that's there for a reason. So they don't mean like everything is just going to be wiped away or gone or something. So, but it's that the right things will be there. So yeah, they're saying, relying on other people can be a good thing. People that you can trust. So people that have proven themselves to be trustworthy, that you can rely upon, that's fine. That's a good thing. That's just relationships. That's friendships or partnerships, and different types of relationships. They all have that. So that isn't what's going to be removed, but it's this feeling of needing something from the other person that you can't get on your own, that you can't fulfill on your own. Again, whether it's finances or it's emotional fulfillment or even safety. Different things that you can provide for yourself, but you feel a lack, whether it's a lack in confidence or just the strength, willpower to do it. But your guides are just saying, you got this. So, so they're saying that any lack that appears to be there is just an illusion. It's just an illusional concept. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you my other crystals because I know you're probably going to ask me if I don't. Okay, so this was the sunstone that I already showed you. And you can see some orange in here as well. This is usually thought of as a solar plexus stone, but you see with the orange that you can really think of it as sacral as well, and even sometimes root it can be good for, but it is supposedly a solar plexus stone, like primarily it is. That's the energy it gives out. So that's, you know, determination, it's drive, it's coming into your own, it's willpower, strength, even vitality in a physical way. And also the solar plexus tends to charge all the other chakras. It gives energies to those chakras, but it brings confidence, it brings self-esteem. And so a lot of issues like that can be held in the solar plexus, and they can also be cleared from the solar plexus, and the solar plexus ultimately gives the opposite effect. Okay, so now I can come to this crystal that I keep holding up here, thinking that I'm done talking, and then something else pops in my head for me to say. So this is my malachite, and this one is really good for grounding, and I'm getting like purpose finding like a sense of purpose, which makes sense since it is good for grounding. It is also very good for feeling safe, secure, and it helps with psychic protection. It helps with safety while traveling. And that's actually definitely a root chakra concept, to feel safe in your physical environment, even like emotionally, and in different ways, but at the same time in the physical world. So whether it's energetically, mentally, emotionally, or physically, but having to do with you're being in the physical world and you're feeling safe. So that's definitely a root chakra thing. Okay, so then I have my citrine, and this as well is usually a solar plexus stone, but it can also be for the other two lower chakras as well. And with the other things that we have coming in, I would say that to a lesser degree, that's also for those. But this even has to do with some higher chakra concepts as well. Just because some of the solar plexus concepts, I don't know, I think of them as kind of higher chakra concepts also, but it's like finding your truth. Again, there's this sense of finding your purpose. But yeah, that makes sense very much for the solar plexus, like your mission in life, because your solar plexus really helps with path and career and being driven, and things like that. Your willpower, tenacity, that kind of came up in the heart chakras reading. I don't know why I'm getting that word with you too. Okay, so then I have Gibo, and this has to do with give and take. Energies that you are receiving, energies that you're putting out. So this was actually a group rune that I pulled this week. So for all of the Patreon readings this week. Oh geez, I was thinking this was a 10-minute. No, this is the half hour. Okay, so I have a little more time than I was thinking. They're taking a little pause here. Oh, I feel them coming up a lot closer though for some reason. Whoa, my back is really burning all of a sudden. It's actually hot touching it. It's really hot. There's some weight on my shoulders too. And on my head now, there's some pressure. I feel my guides coming up too. Again, with your reading, my guides are always there, obviously. When I'm doing someone else's reading, obviously they're always there. But here they are again. Obviously, my guides are from the council, and I know the council works with a lot of people. They're my individual guides, but obviously I know they work with other people also. I know other people call on them even. And other people have like visions of them coming to them. They have, you know, interactions with others. I know that for a fact. But I'm not sure yet why they're coming so presently during your readings. I'm assuming that they must be working with you in some way. So I don't know if you've called on the council. I don't know if that's it, or just because of how many readings you are getting. Because you've definitely been getting readings with me for a while. But on the other hand, you're not the only client who is like an older client. And a lot of my Patreon clients are older. What's this? What is that? Okay, but for some reason the council, or members of the council anyway, are definitely working with you personally. Not as guides, it doesn't feel like. It feels like, not that that wouldn't be possible, but it doesn't feel like it's like your main guides or something. It feels like a group almost. Feels like they're coming in kind of as a group. They're helping you with different things. They're helping you shift some things, clear some stuff. I know a lot of times starseeds will have a master guide who's from the council. And the council has always said that pretty much every starseed, they have a guide from this council that works with them. It could be closely, it could be not as closely, or depending on what they're learning as well, the guide might step up closer and step back periodically. But every starseed, they always say that every starseed has a guide from the council that they can call on. And that doesn't mean the 7 that I channel necessarily. That can mean that can mean just a council member. There are loads of them. So I definitely don't know them all, not nearly. Okay, so it just feels like they are a group working with you. I'm not sure exactly why, but they are working with you personally. But then I have your guides coming up too. And it definitely felt like your guide who was sending all the heat and the pressure and everything. I feel heat on my ear all of a sudden. Both of my ears now, my ears are feeling kind of funny. I kind of feel like they're trying to kind of open you up, kind of expand your consciousness a bit. I feel like even help you, it feels like they're preparing you to come into some psychic abilities more. But I almost feel like you would still need to do something like classes or something like that. They would really need to be the right ones though, the ones that you're really drawn to. So I feel like take your time with it. You don't have to rush off and do classes. Make sure it's the right ones. Make sure it's the teacher that you really feel drawn to, or the people that you really feel drawn to, or just the class or the topic, whatever it is. Make sure that it's what you feel really drawn to. You don't have to rush off and do that. So it doesn't feel like an instruction in that way. Like, it feels like a suggestion and something that you probably will end up doing, but it feels like kind of take your time with it, allow it to happen a bit more naturally. And it also feels like when you're ready for that, it will open up. You'll be able to do it. You'll find the right person, etc. But it feels like that's something that is kind of important on your path. It feels like you are going to be coming into that more. Because I do feel like it's like you're going to open up more, but then it's almost like at the same time it has to be triggered. Like you have to let it know in a sense, I'm here, I'm available for you to operate through me, kind of thing. And then to start using it in a new way, where you just let it know, I'm available for this to happen, for you to use this, that type of thing. And I'm picking up on a lifetime as a fairy, as a type of fairy all of a sudden. I've never really picked up on that before. I've never really thought about that with your energy, but obviously it's whatever they're sending me. So they've just never really sent that or talked about that before. But I feel like in this lifetime you were a really intuitive person, and I'm getting so much pressure and heat on my back. And again, there's this feeling almost like something opening, it's something expanding, it feels like. So there's a feeling almost like, I feel like they kind of want to bring that out of you. They kind of want to surface that a bit. This kind of magical, why am I getting the word buoyant? I don't know. I want to look that up. Doesn't it? I don't even get that. Buoyant. Doesn't that mean like, I don't even get why I'm getting that word. Okay. Able or apt to stay afloat or rise to the top of a liquid or gas. Okay, so I guess they're trying to surface this. That is not what I thought it meant. Kind of. I was close. I thought it meant like bouncing or something like that. Floating. Okay. So I feel like they're trying to surface that. And I feel like there are some different lifetimes even that they are trying to surface. I don't feel like that is the only one. I don't really understand what this is. There's some guide that you have around you. It feels like a male guide. And then he keeps showing me books, like he is reading a lot of books. I'm trying to, it feels like something to do with teaching. Oh, okay. this is probably that thing that you were asking about, which I had forgotten about. So you were asking, that's such a weird way to remind me of that question, showing me a bunch of books. But yeah, you had a question about, is your spiritual knowledge going to come into play with your career, or are you going to end up using that, or is it just to help you on your path right now? Okay, so some of it, I feel like this is coming from this male guide specifically, but some of this has to do, some of this some of this is just to help you right now. It's things that you need to know. Even like the readings that you're getting. As a for instance, it's like some of it helps you for right then. It helps you with something that you need to know right then. But then other information is something that will always be relevant. Like maybe it's a past lifetime or something. Well, you've had that past lifetime. You'll always have that past lifetime. But if it's about certain thought forms, you're not necessarily always going to have those. So it benefits you then to know about it, what needs to be cleared, etc. But once you move on from it, you don't need to know about that thought form anymore or have anything to do with it because you cleared it, you let it go, and it's not part of your story anymore, if that makes sense. But then there are other things that you're definitely going to be taking with you for sure, and you're going to be advancing with them as you move forward. But there is definitely some teaching. There is this like teaching, like capability that comes from knowing all this stuff, and I do feel like that is going to come into play at some point. But I feel like that's going to be kind of forming over a little bit of time. It just doesn't feel like something to just rush with or rush into. And even this dependency thing, I feel like there are other thought forms to get rid of. And so even though I feel like that is an issue, even financially, it feels like, and how they're saying that that's an issue and that you should let go of dependency on others, not be dependent on anyone but yourself. But at the same time, you can't like rush into the wrong thing either. And there are some thought forms there that take some time to be cleared, and when they're clear, then you can actually be clear on they're saying then you can be clear on the fact that you know what to do. So in other words, you already know what to do, you've always known what to do, but once you're clear, then it's like the facts are there, the knowledge is there, the database of information, it was already, it was collected, it was gathered already, and now you know what to do with it. So it feels like that takes a little time. So I feel like the journey right now is still processing, removing and clearing these thought forms and deeper things. But it feels like as you do that, you're going to be getting clearer and clearer on exactly what you need to do to be moving forward. And it feels like it's going to be a lot easier for you. It feels like financially, it feels like you're going to feel safer, you're going to feel more secure. You're going to have this like stance, this position where you feel more like you're in control. So they're saying that that's something that dependency on others can feel like it takes away. It can feel like it takes away some of your feeling that you're in control, and sort of you have power to direct or influence your own life, but it feels like even others in some way, not in a negative way though. But it feels almost like you are listened to more, or even your opinion is valued more, it feels like, because you've come into your own. So there's an energy there that people respect, that people see as something to trust, as something to value, something to listen to. And so it feels like that's going to be happening more and more and more. And it feels like that's going to just come about naturally. But it feels like then it's just going to hit you one day like, whoa, this happened. But it's still going to be like a gradual thing over time. So it's not going to happen all of a sudden, but it still feels like it's kind of going to hit you all of a sudden at the same time. Like, this is what they were talking about. And I feel like that's already happened for you, actually, kind of along the way here and there. I feel like, you've cleared something, or you've felt something, you felt like a different way about things, or you release some programmings, and then you'd sort of have these kind of aha moments like, oh, that's the feeling they were talking about, or this is what they meant by that, or whatever. Okay, so this brings them to the Kundalini question. Okay. One thing that they're saying about when your Kundalini comes into operation, they're saying that you don't need to worry about necessarily feeling a certain thing, because they're saying it's most likely going to happen in the middle of the night. So this could happen while you were sleeping. A lot of times guides work on people while they're sleeping. They're not necessarily going to feel those things. So you're not necessarily going to know when your Kundalini has been activated by you just feeling some weird sensation or something going up your spine or something. I don't know. Some people feel something weird like that. And that can be an indication that your Kundalini has been activated. But they're saying that this is most likely going to occur while you're sleeping, because I think they do a lot of work on you to begin with while you're sleeping. It feels like some of it while you are awake too, but I don't feel like they're going to do that while you're awake. And I already feel like they have started on some things to almost the prep work for that. But one of the things they're bringing up is that when your Kundalini has been more activated, it feels like you're going to come into an awareness more of your own body. You're going to know what's right for it. It feels like you're going to know what to feed it, for one thing. You're going to have a much easier time with knowing what cleanses to do, knowing what you should be eating, what you should be drinking, and sort of how to get control over your physical body, the way that it acts, be able to direct it more smoothly, where you just feel like that's coming in, where you feel like you're kind of more in control of things, where you don't feel like some helpless victim, like your body is doing this and your body is doing that, and you don't know why or what to do for it, or how to, trigger different things that would almost be ideal for you. For its health, for the health of your body. And I feel like it's like you're just going to know what to do more. That's going to be one of the big signs that your Kundalini has activated more, is you're going to feel like physically with your own body, you just have more of a handle on things. And that's also why it's important that this Kundalini get more activated, because I even feel like that needs to happen before you come more into your own kind of power and sense of self with other things as well too. I feel like even financially, to some degree, it's like you can't fully, till your Kundalini is fully activated. It feels like you can't really step into that all the way, where you feel like you are really almost taking the reins, and you feel fulfilled in that way. You feel like you are really doing the right thing. You know what to do. All of those things. And where you don't have this more of a dependent stance. So it's like, or where you're in more of a dependent space is another way that they're putting it. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be one of the main ways that you'll be able to tell with the Kundalini activation. Also, it feels like you are going to have more energy as well, partly because of what you're going to be doing, what you'll be doing differently. When it comes to how you are treating your body, what you are giving it, the fuel that you're putting in. So it feels like even exercising, that's going to happen more easily, and sticking with something when it comes to that. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say for this reading. And our time is up, so thank you so much for allowing me to do another reading for you, and I will see you next week. Namaste.